Don't you just love fall? Here we get a lot of colorful leaves. It's a lot of fun. It's not so hot, and we can do things. It's not too cold, so we can't do things. But it's also a reminder that we got to get stuff done. Hey YouTube, I'm back, and I'm just kind of getting ready for winter and winter preparedness. I'm not a prepper type of person. I have nothing against those that do. This is just daily routine. Basically, is to have enough stuff so that you can survive even just the weekend if something happens. Around here, we're out of the town 7-8 miles, so if we lose power, sometimes we can be out of power for days. Knock on wood, it didn't happen last year. This is the first year that we've set the mobile home up. One thing that I want to go over, and this is mostly for my friends in Texas, because I really felt bad for you Texans. That was just, you guys were not ready. So what I'd like to do is just kind of show you a few things that are relatively inexpensive, and they're great ways to stay warm, and you don't have to sleep in a running car, which is extremely dangerous. The first thing I'd like to show you is this stuff is just taken out of storage. I'm not going to take the time to clean it up right now. I want to get this video up because the supply chains right now are breaking down. I know that sounds like, oh, you're a doomer. I'm not a doomer. I pray to God it doesn't happen. But if you don't motivate on some of this stuff now, it may not be available when you need it. Okay, this is just the simple Mr. Buddy heater. We use this one the most now. It's a single pane propane heater, relatively clean, moist heat. This is very damp heat, so you want to be prepared for that. These also supposedly have a carbon monoxide shut-off, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, whichever, detector, which shuts these off. I wouldn't depend on it. I would buy one separately. This, when we run, we have a propane stove, so we run the propane stove. We'll run this off the carpets, of course, and it keeps our home relatively warm through most any conditions, right down to probably 15 degrees. We do shut the stove off if we're going to leave the house and we have no power, we have no heat. We do shut the stove off. Don't leave it running unattended. It's not designed to keep your house warm. So that's probably the best advice that I can give you as far as using your propane stove. It will consume a lot of oxygen. It does not forgive, and it will not shut off. These supposedly will. Again, get yourself a detector. It's cheap insurance for your life. This is the Big Buddy heater. This is a dual pane. It's like having two of these. It's this one right here, when I bought it, was about $130. I think this was $199. This comes with a built-in fan, runs on D batteries. It doesn't last very long. The best option that I can tell you to do, and I didn't go and get it, I apologize, is a rechargeable USB fan. You can run that on USB out of your vehicle. You can charge it with your cigarette lighter. You can charge it with a USB charging block. And with a charging block, it'll run for hours, but it'll blow the heat around, and that's one of the things that really do help keep you warm. I'm going to come up close for this next thing, and hopefully I don't trip over the cord. This is an old heat tape that I have. This is a piece of water pipe. Hopefully you guys can see it. That I didn't use in the move, but I did keep it right handy. This is heat tape. This just warms up. You plug it in when you need it. You don't need it. We use it year round, not year round, I'm sorry, through late fall into early spring. It doesn't cost that much, and once you unplug it, you are good. It doesn't cost you anything. It's set up. You wrap it on the pipe. This is a little close knit, honestly. They make pipe insulation, which just looks like your padding for your BMX bikes, or and you wrap that around. Normally this is taped down with electrical tape, use electrical tape. Use electrical tape also for your pad. And by pad, I mean your pipe insulation. This will keep your pipes from freezing. What I normally do is I will plug this into some type of an extension cord. Right now I have 3 different sets of these to keep the length of them down. You can buy these in nearly any length, from 3 feet probably to 300 feet. That way I can switch over if I need to. Like I said, if we lose power out here, we lose power for a long time sometimes. So I have that separated so that I can run 3 of these off one extension cord. Make sure it's listed for that. I'm sure mine isn't, but it is what it is. Also, I have a water pump that needs to be plugged in. I can't allow my water to freeze. That's probably one of the biggest problems with being out here or being someplace that you're not used to having cold weather like we've seen lately. And by the satellite images that I'm seeing online, it looks like Texas is gonna have another cold spell. Another thing with the buddy heaters, the buddy heaters take these small, tiny propane tanks. I don't have any around because I do not use them. What I've done is I've bought this adapter, which takes place of the propane tank. You basically just screw this in, and this goes into your gas grill, propane tank, or RV propane tank. Screws right in. These will run 48 hours plus, maybe, on 5 pounds of propane. And of course, that depends on how hot you get it. We generally turn ours on and off every couple hours. We let it cool off, restart it. We normally don't sleep with these running. We haven't anyway. If we have to, we probably will. We're more designed to be in 20 below zero weather than any of my southern friends. Now you're probably going to ask yourself, what's this? This is dirty. It's filthy. This was actually just thrown into my storage area, and I'm going to explain to you what this is for. Okay, so what this is for is this is actually a cutout of my camper window, and this was placed inside my camper window, and well, I left that over there. Okay, I'll be right back. These tubes actually went through that. And what these tubes do is they attach to this right here, which is considered this is called a diesel heater. What this does is it's actually like a small furnace. I'm going to bring you up close to it here in a minute. This has to be, this is set up on its own stand. It kind of looks like a bunch of wires. What this is for is I use it outdoors. The exhaust plugs right in the bottom. It burns diesel fuel. It burns diesel fuel 1 gallon every 24 hours, give or take. It's relatively quiet. It's the most that you hear is the fuel pump, and this connects. I know this is kind of a bad setup. Like I said, everything's been in storage, and last year was kind of a rough year, and I had to actually use this to unfreeze my pipes. This just clips onto my car battery. Actually, I use my tractor because my tractor is designed to idle. Cars are not designed to idle. They are not designed to sleep in for heat either. So this just clips on the battery. We got a remote control here. You can set your temperature, and it automatically shuts off at the temperature you set. These are kind of not the simplest things to use. We used this. We first moved in here. We had no power hookup for a couple of days. Somewhere I actually have a vent for the window. This sat outside the window. We blew it into the inside. We stayed warm. It was anywhere from 25 to 43 degrees, and it was relatively warm. We closed off most of the rooms. This isn't going to heat an entire house. It will heat a room, possibly 2 rooms. I'm going to guess this is probably going to heat 10 by 20. So you got a 10 by 20 area that you need to heat up, this will probably do it. Again, this isn't the simplest of units, but it is probably, it's a nice dry heat between your buddy heater, your outdoor heater. If you have something to plug it into, it does consume a little bit of battery. I wouldn't go probably more than 4 or 6 hours on a really good battery. It's a small unit though. I really like this type of heat. In my camper, I would leave to go snowmobiling. I would turn this on and I would leave. I'd go snowmobiling for 2 or 3 hours, come back, it would be 70 degrees in my camper, and it's 15, 20 degrees outside. And my camper was not weatherproofed. But we always went there and had, you know, a coffee or something when we got done riding. So it was nice to get out of the cold. I'm sure there's more ways than what I have for any situation that you might get into. But I just wanted to point out some of the easier ones. This rope is just so I can pull it up with just my bucket on. I use my tractor a lot. I use it to clear snow. I use it to move stuff around. And again, I plug this system in. I'm going to get a close-up shot of this. You can definitely YouTube this and see what they're all about. I think, sorry, I'm getting a lot of traffic today for some reason. I think people are getting ready for hunting season. You can definitely pump some heat out of this. There's definitely other things. There's definitely a lot of YouTube videos on both the Buddy heater and the diesel heater. Check out more from people that know more. Definitely get yourself a dioxide detector, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, whichever. Anyway, the heat tape is going to be a lifesaver. Make sure you can plug it into a generator somewhere and you're not caught with your pants down. Okay? That is probably the best advice I can give you, is keep your water pipes warm. Keep a couple gallons of water. You can still flush your toilet if you have water. Most of the time sewer doesn't freeze. Most of the time. I haven't had that problem yet, and I've seen minus 35, minus 40 with wind chill. Haven't had a sewer problem yet. Keep your water lines warm. Keep yourselves warm. Don't sleep in your car. That's a very bad thing to do. Even here, we've had people that have set generators inside their house. Please don't do that. Recently, I believe it was last winter, 4 young people had a generator going in the basement, and unfortunately, they never woke up. These generators have to be placed outside. They have to be placed where they're not going to get inside your house. The exhaust fumes, sometimes you can't smell them. And as a side note, most people do not smell things while they sleep. Lucky for us guys, right? Anyway, that's all I got for you. I hope you found something of this useful. And like I said, please prepare now. The shipping lines are not like they used to be. There is no overnight delivery. I'm still waiting a month for a lighter to come in on my Amazon. Like I said, thanks for watching. Prepare. We'll see you again.